Hello everyone, my name is Simon Staffans. I work as a content developer at MediaCity Finland and I'm the CEO of Rethink Formats as well. I'm a producer myself, so this will be a very interesting session for me to hear about how to monetize stuff. And because for some reason I happen to like money, not in the sense that I love money in itself, but money will make me able to do more of what I want to do, great content. And I think the same goes for a lot of you guys in the audience as well. The session is called Producers Take Back Your Monetization Powers. And that sounds exciting. Producers are producing right now more content than ever, and online is growing exponentially. Videos becoming a huge part of all the data that we transfer every day over the internet. But how can producers make use of this? How can we monetize this online craziness so we can continue to produce great stuff? So to figure this out and to tell you all about it, with me here on stage are, first away, Manuel Moles. He's the Executive Vice President of Business Development from Pokeware. It's a US company that was founded to work with interactive advertising, digital media, disruptive technologies, and community outreach. Did I get that right? Brilliant. I did my research. Jay Distillery, to my right here, is Director of Social Media in the UK, using social entertainment to revolutionize how brands are communicating with their customers. Yeah. And both of them have, in different ways, managed to find ways to monetize content, and specifically online content, ways that we're going to hear all about during this session. I'd like for us to start off with you getting to present your companies and your services. So if I can ask Manuel to start off. Thank you.
Stella just finished watching her favorite music video, and it's not just the song she loves. She has to have those amazing boots. She searches the internet endlessly, but never finds the boots. Frustrating. But not only for Stella, it's also a lost opportunity for Joe's Boots, who has exactly what Stella wants in stock and ready to sell. Now with Pokeware, this experience can change. While watching the video, Stella pokes the boots and is led to Joe's website. And there are her boots front and center. They're in her price range, so she buys them instantly. The content owner has now created revenue from a source that didn't have it before. And once Pokeware is embedded, it cannot be separated from the content. So no matter where that video lives, viewers will always be able to poke to learn more. Pokeware respects the artistic integrity of content because the search capability never interrupts the videos. Only viewers' interests generate search results, which can be tracked with our real-time analytics system. If you're ready to maximize your content value, email us at info@pokeware.com or poke here.
Yeah. So, what is Pokeware? Pokeware is in some way is an ad exchange technology solution that fit the needs of brands and of course the content owners. Pokeware is something that it's a monetization strategy that it is perfect for brands because they can introduce a hotspots or an access point in the content exactly when this content is being watching by the users, and obviously in content which is really interesting for users with a high traffic, and at the same time it's so interesting for the content owners because they are making money, they are opening a new line of revenues without breaking the original content, how they produce. In some way, we can say that as you can find things using words in Google, using Pokeware, you can find things, you can buy things that are inside, which are within the digital content that you are watching. So you are not using words, you are using content, objects which are in the content. Pokeware is a very powerful. One of the things that I used to talk about when I introduce Pokeware, which is very important, is the complete and the deep information that we give to the advertisers and to the owners. For the information that we give to advertisers is very useful because they know exactly how they are spending the money and how they can manage the expenses that they are doing, that they are investing in advertising. So they can take the control, because one of the problems that one of the most common problems that they have is exactly that they spend money in advertising, but they don't know exactly what results are they going to find. So using Pokeware, they can take the control and they can exactly introduce the advertising in a organic and natural way, in these words. And for the owners, it is completely interesting, because you are introducing advertising, but you are not disturbing your content, how you create it. So, for example, you as user, you can watch a video, you can watch some pictures, but if you want if you just want to see the video, you can see the video. You don't have to you don't have to suffer the pre-roll advertising. You don't have to close the banners, or you don't have to wait and waste your time. So if you want to see the video, you can see. If you want to get more information about what is in the video, you can get this information. So the user take the control of its time. So at the same time, it is very interesting exactly now because of the illegal copies. Because once the hotspots are introduced in the content, it doesn't matter if the content is being played in a official channel or in a illegal channel, because the hotspots are going to be always in the content. So you can still make money as owner, even if your movie or if your video is not being legally distributed. One of the for us, one of the most important thing is that we have to educate the users, because it is something that it's growing in the USA, but not still in Europe and South America. So the problem that we are finding is that it is so. I mean, for example, if you can see in the image that there are two hotspots, and we have to introduce the hotspots because some people they cannot imagine that they can get more information or they can buy the things that they are watching. So it is something very interesting, because a lot of companies that we visit we are working with, like for example Victoria's Secret, they say, okay, we want to get this opportunity to the users to get this information, but at the same time we want to customize and personalize the icons and all the things that all the tools that we use. So it is completely tailor-made, or you can customize as brand, and you can customize as owner the way you get this platform, this ad exchange. So this completely win-win relationship between users, as they can get this information, owners, as they can make money as in a new line that they are not doing now, and brands, because they don't have to spend the money without information. Now they can decide when and where they want to spend their money. It is something very important for the brands and for the content owners, that we give them real-time information. So even, for example, brands, they can decide if they want to move the hotspots or change the place or the time where the hotspots appears. So it is completely it can be completely customized. So the truth is that it is so simple and so easy to explain and to work with, that sometimes it is like, for example, with the icons. It is so new that some people is, but how it works? So here it is. It is completely simple.
Thank you, Manuel.
Okay.
And we will talk more about in just a minute about how producers can work with you. Okay. Next up, Jadis, please.
think I see a few of you from the Brands and Content Masterclass that I facilitated yesterday. And I think the fact that there was a summit dedicated to branded content at the most important event in the TV industry says it all, really. Thanks to the growth in online, everyone is commissioning content. Brands, broadcasters, and even talent are using content and the power of social platforms to engage their audiences. From groundbreaking live experiences, web-exclusive TV series, to transmedia journeys, these brands all made the case for investing in content, and the media landscape is richer for it. There are a lot of players in the online content space, but make no mistake about it, this is not fragmentation, this is convergence. What we are seeing is more than a trend, it is a new revenue stream and an opportunity to do things differently. That scares some people, I get it, but remember one thing. This is about storytelling. You are storytellers. Producers. Who are you if not the people who create content to educate, entertain, and inspire us? Brands. Who are you if not the people creating compelling content to bring to life services and products? Agencies. Who are you if not the bastions of cool, pulling together parts of our cultural lexicon to win hearts and minds? You show us the beauty of a moment, the intel inside, and give us wings. It would be easy to think of online branded content as the new soap operas, with Ericsson and HP replacing Palmolive and Lever. But this is a new digital era, and the power of social media is that it is a two-way communication medium, and that is nothing short of revolutionary. Who remembers the Choose Your Own Adventure books? I always thought they were brilliant. I was part of the story, choosing where it would go next. I couldn't wait to turn the page and find out what would happen. Guess what? That desire to be part of the story is very much the same. And now in the digital landscape, your audience will be part of the story whether you want them to be or not. Anyone heard of the Harlem Shake? The best brands, producers, and agencies know that audiences want to participate. We've had 2 full days of companies talking about how they do just that. Unfortunately, I missed the presentation with B-Rail Films because of 2 failed attempts on the part of EasyJet to land at the Nice airport, but I heard it was fantastic. Then there are people like the Vice Group, Framestore, Big Balls Films, Yahoo, and Demal Electus, all great companies doing great work. For my part, I have a Facebook first under my belt, so I have a few words of hard-won wisdom. Make everything you produce mobile ready, from the content to the platform it's housed in. If you're not making your content mobile ready, you will lose your audience. More people now view Facebook on mobile devices than on computers. Facebook have changed their user interface as a result, and they made a massive announcement last week. If the largest social network in the world is making themselves mobile ready, you should too. Use absolutely everything to enhance the viewing experience. Social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube have powerful tools for targeting and engaging your audience. Then there are bespoke platforms like we have here, Pokeware, which enhance the experience even further. Your audience wants to engage, please let them. Return on investment matters now more than ever, so measure absolutely everything. Data sells a pilot, secures a recommission, and funds spin-off content. I work with talent, and the power of celebrity in social media absolutely cannot be underestimated. Does anyone know these guys? For those of you that don't, they're a pop group called One Direction from the UK. And they're interesting because they have a combined audience on Twitter of 60 million. That is 60 million people they can speak to directly and who will listen to what they say. If you're not working with talent or maximizing your existing relationships with them, you are missing a massive opportunity. I've worked with every major broadcaster in the UK to support programming and have also extended AFPs into digital. But I hope the Facebook first that I mentioned will inspire you to see the opportunity of branded content in its own right. I worked on a project for my client, dot.talent, with one of the UK's largest online retailers, the Shop Direct Group, who have a turnover of €2.2 billion. we conceived a socially driven format that was a UK retail and Facebook first. In a live, 1-hour celebrity-fronted show broadcast directly into Facebook, we brought products to life in a way that linked the brand Littlewoods to their consumer in a way that they didn't think was possible. But I want to be clear, this was not QVC. How do I know that? Because the consumers told us when they messaged us in real time on Facebook as they watched the show. They told us when they called in live on air to speak to our celebrity presenter, and when they told their friends to turn off the TV and tune into Facebook. How else do I know? Because sales of the collection increased 292% in the first week, and website visitation increased 289%. 7 episodes in, Littlewoods Live is reaching its 1-year anniversary. For more stats, you can see it profiled in the free ebook by the Branded Content Marketing Association, which you can download on iTunes. That book puts us alongside Heineken, Nissan, Mini, Perrier, and Persil. Not bad for a London startup and an 80-year-old retail brand. As someone passionate about social media, communities, and content, as someone who has spoken at conferences around the world and on TV about the power of celebrity and brand partnerships online, you can call me an evangelist, but I'm just someone who sat at the coalface and then took a step back to realize that all of us, as content producers, have an opportunity to do something really exciting, grow the bottom line, and change entertainment.
Thank you, Jadis. We're going to do some questions and answers and then open up for the public as well if there are some questions. But we're already running a little bit late, so I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I mean, Manuel, first of you, you're making money out of people clicking on videos online, right? If a producer wants to come to you and make money with you, what should they think of? Well, how should they go about? Should they think about something special when they are creating that content?
Yeah. Well, obviously, it must be a very high traffic content in order to generate the interest of the brands which are in the ad exchange to introduce the hotspots. But in fact, it is Pokeware works very. I mean, we adapt to the content and the brands. I mean, for example, if the content owner, if they have a special deal with a brand, or if they have something, for example, when we work with celebrities, we know that we have to face a blacklist of some brands that I mean, if they have a deal with some kind of Swatch or some kind of brand, obviously we must be sure that that there are no hotspots that are competition of these brands. But I think that I mean I couldn't say to the creators to have any kind of special consideration, because in fact, if the product, if the content is interesting and it has a high traffic, it will be completely interesting for the brands. So brands will be worried to find the right moment or the right place where they want to introduce the hotspots.
Well, this must be a question you can't answer, but is it worth it for the producer to start going this way? I mean, how much money do you make? Can you tell me that? Well,
we and producer and content owners, we share revenues. I mean, it is a good question, because sometimes some of our clients are, when they started to be clients, they say, okay, but what about? I mean, we have some percentage of the revenues that we used to generate, and the percent of the poke that users used to do. But it's true that it is, and it is what I used to say, is that in the worst case, you are not making money now. So even if you just win a little bit of money, you will have creating a new revenue from in some way that you are not doing now. But obviously, we have a great less than 25% of pokes So it is depending of the followers or the users that watch your video or your picture, it can be a lot of money. But obviously, brands are who pay the campaign, so it is completely win-win relationship.
Yep. So we're not gonna get a figure of how. No, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's fine.
Okay.
Jadis, a question for you. I completely agree with a lot of the things you say about social media. But if I'm as a producer, I have content and I'm planning to produce something. In your mind, it's absolutely vital to also go social with it, right?
Yeah, I think social. I mean, I would say it as someone passionate about social media, but I think the power of social media can't be underestimated. We have people talking about concurrent viewing and the impact that that's had on tune-in and television programs. But in terms of a producer, it's important to think about how you're going to channel conversation around your programming, because it's going to happen anyways. I think it's important to remember that because of social media, the dynamic has changed. The consumer is a part of the audience is a part of the conversation. So you need to have a plan in place in terms of how you're going to, manage and actually make the most out of that conversation. So social media is key, whether you're a broadcaster, you're a producer, you're a brand, or maybe even your talent as well.
But then, since this is a panel about monetization, yes, how much is it worth? I mean, One Direction, I know them through my daughter for some strange reason. But how much are their 60 million Twitter followers worth, actually? I mean, how much does it pay off?
I think it pays off in the respect that you have an audience that you can speak directly to. So if you think about talent as media channels, that's the way in which you need to view them. Just as you would look at a print publication or a TV program, the audiences that they hold, talent hold as well. Is there a clear-cut solution in terms of how you monetize off of talent profiles? No. But overall, if you incorporate talent that you work with, it is a larger audience. And whether you're a brand whether you're a broadcaster or a producer, that's ultimately what the brands are interested in. I mentioned return on investment. When you work with brands, whether they're advertising or actually funding content, that is important to them. The data, the reach, the measurement.
Okay. I'd like to take some questions from the audience if we have any. In the meanwhile, think about what 3 things you would like for us, our producers, to take away with them from this presentation. But first, if we have any questions in the audience, I cannot see anything. Now I understand what everyone who's been sitting on this stage saying I can't see anything mean, because okay, here we go. Anyone? Nope. So what do you say? Do you have 3 things that the producers in the audience should take with them from your presentations and from this short talk we had? Manuel?
Well, 3 concepts or 3 ideas is one of them could be that it is a completely new line of creating revenues like we haven't seen before. Second thing can be that we respect the original content, so we give and it is something very interesting, that we give the power to the user. So because something that we understand very well is that users, they know what they want to see, and they don't want to waste their time before or then the video, the content. So it can be interesting.
Yes. Jadis?
I think I'm not sure if it's 3 things. I mean, there are 3 points that I would want producers to bear in mind in terms of incorporating into social media, and that's make it mobile ready. It is think about how you're using the actual social platforms, and also measure everything, honestly, because it is key to recommission and funding other projects. But I think the big thing that I want all of you to think about and really challenge you is to consider the value of branded content, both creatively and commercially. It's an incredibly exciting area. There's a lot of funding going into it. So looking at online branded content is key for all of you, really.
Just a follow-up to that. We've seen a lot of talk about branded content. But if I'm a producer with starting up a project, or I mean, which way do I go about it? Do I approach a brand, or do I start off with my content and see what brand fits it afterwards? Which way do you suggest?
I think there's two ways to go about it. If you guys were in the session yesterday with Vice and Intel, you'll know that they were very integrated into the actual creative process. I would say that in an ideal world, that's what you would want to do, is you would want to have your brand and your producer working together to come up with, with a format that worked for both. That said, if you have content, if you have come up with a format or a series, look at other distributors. Look at someone like Yahoo, who's commissioned 25 TV programs for their platform. Look at someone like Netflix, or Spotify is apparently getting into the mix in terms of content production. There are a lot of other distributors out there. So whether you bring a brand in from the outset, or you have content that you want to work with a new distributor, think about those really new distributors that are out there, and those are platforms and websites.
Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Jadis. I'm going to stop now because Mike strangles me. He's going to moderate the next session if I don't quit now. So Manuel and Jadis will be in the Meet the Speakers lounge just outside STRL. Thank you.